What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. And if you did test positive for COVID or anything else, maybe you're sick right now, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues and no long-term issues. It is time now for the Thursday edition of the Pandemic Update for Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where we do the daily pandemic update on all things COVID and other viruses that could be a health threat to you. Let's face it, there's a lot of viruses out there. You can easily catch any of them because there's constantly something new going around. We inform you on what's going around in the United States and around the world. And today we're going to take a look at several news stories. We're going to take a look at a few of our daily data and some weekly data. I'm going to try and keep this a shorter video. Some of my long COVID symptoms have been acting up today, including coughing and just being tired this afternoon. Don't know why. It just randomly occurs. Hasn't happened in some time, but here we are. So if you're new, subscribe down below. Give this a thumbs up. The more people that gives it a thumbs up, the more YouTube pushes it out throughout the algorithm. And, of course, share this with anyone you know and leave a comment down below. First off, we have to talk about H5N1. HHS advances plan to produce 4.8 million H5N1 vaccine doses. Seems fitting now that we've had another human case in the United States and, of course, the one in Australia as well. We'll see what happens with this. Obviously, I think there is a concern, probably from the HHS and in the CDC, but who knows? The fact they want to now produce some doses, not even certain who it's going to go to. Is it going to go to the farmers? Is it going to go to regular people? Only being 4.8 million, sounds like they're going to target a certain population first. I would assume the farmers and farm workers get targeted first, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Very early stages of whatever's going to go on with that. And I have read something that they may be partnering with Moderna and Pfizer once again, so who knows? A lot of questions there that will probably get answered down the line. Moving on to this. California is seeing COVID metrics rise as part of a national the flirt variants uptick. And at this point, it is safe to say that there is definitely an increase ongoing in parts of the United States at this time. Not a major increase, but it's a little bit noticeable. And San Francisco Bay Area in wastewater surveillance confirms that as well. We showed you on wastewater scan recently, San Francisco was seeing a rise. Maybe we could take a look at that again today. All right, this week in COVID versus influenza, this Gregory Travis posted this on X. I like when he posts this. 2024 total influenza deaths to date, 6,899. 2024 total COVID deaths to date, 22,831. There is no denying it. More people are still dying from COVID. And remember, that is still a vast undercount. And you know what? Flu can be a vast undercount as well, because not everyone knows the test for flu. Prior to COVID, how many people here, you can leave this in the comments down below, how many people here knew someone who would actually go out and get a test for flu? I'm sure we knew someone, but as far as I can recall, it wasn't a big thing. A lot of people, okay, well, I'm sick, I got the flu, okay, I'll just have to get, or they assume it's the flu. I'm sick, I'll take all these, all these medications from the pharmacy, cold medicine, and hopefully I'll be better in a week. I mean, that's the way it was before COVID. But now since COVID, more people get tested for different viruses. All right, moving on to this now. Italy, COVID cases rise by 47% in 1 week, and COVID deaths, it says up 88%, but let's be realistic here. 88%, it's 17 COVID deaths reported. So they're not seeing a major death wave right now, but they're starting to creep up a little bit. I mean, when cases rise, when hospitalizations rise, obviously deaths are going to rise as well. So they are seeing a hospitalization rise. They are seeing increases in Italy right now. Of course, as we all know, or as if you saw the previous videos, Spain is really seeing a rise right now. And as is other places. Like there was a news story the other day in Singapore where test kits are flying off the shelves. A lot of people are running to get tested, but right now what they're seeing is a lot of cases. They're seeing hospitalizations, and yes, they're seeing some deaths as well, but right now it's not a major death wave. But remember, it only takes a mild case, that I'm leading up to something here. It only takes a mild case to cause long COVID. Let's take a look at that now. And I tweeted this last night. I'm just going to read word for word what I tweeted. Look how many, I know I spelled look wrong. Look how many have long COVID in England, but no positive test. I'm not in England, but I do fall in that category. I never had a positive test back in 2020. Also, only 6.5% of people in this study from England were hospitalized for their COVID case. You do not need to be hospitalized for COVID to get long COVID. It's a real issue. Everyone thinks, oh, well, it's mild. I didn't end up in the hospital. Same person 2 months later. Why am I having heart problems? Why am I constantly coughing? Why am I always tired? Did you have COVID? Well, I did have COVID, but it can't be that. Oh, yes, it can. A lot of things can be that. And you do not need to be hospitalized to end up with long COVID. The only thing that needs to happen, you end up around one person who's infected. That one person infects you. You happen to be an unlucky person that doesn't have a speedy recovery from COVID for whatever reason. And guess what ends up happening? You go on to develop long COVID. It is that simple. That is why you need to continue to help keep yourself safe and keep those around you safe. It is very important, especially coming into this holiday weekend. If you are positive for COVID right now, as I am saying this, it is 5:42 on Thursday evening. If you're positive for COVID right now, maybe you tested positive today, yesterday, or at some point this week, I am sorry. You cannot travel for Memorial Day weekend. You cannot go to barbecues. You cannot go to gatherings. You cannot go to Memorial Day honorings for our fallen heroes. You can't do any of that. You need to quarantine for the weekend. I know, it sucks. I mean, oh man, I can't go down to the beach. No, you can't do that this weekend. Oh, I can't go out on my boat up in the mountain. No, you need to quarantine if you've tested positive for this weekend. Just you being positive could spread your case to another person and then so on. Or if it's a large gathering, one case could become 2, 4, 6, 8. It can multiply. That's how COVID works. And again, this is worth repeating many, many times. In this study, only 6.5% of the people were hospitalized, and the rest did end up with long COVID who were not hospitalized. And this was not just no small study. There were millions of people in the data. When they looked into the data, they looked into the data of millions of people. And only 6.5% were hospitalized. All right, moving on. We spent too much time on that. National Allergy Map. 38% of the country is in medium status, and not as much red today. A lot of orange. Pollen levels are actually better. Some areas had some rain. We had some rain and thunderstorms here this morning in southeast Pennsylvania. Of course, New York City got rocked by thunderstorms this morning. They actually had some severe reports. Taking a look at air qualities, if we can. Here they come. Being a little slow today. Air qualities, we still have our normal hotspots. It's going to be a hot weekend down in Texas. That usually does not couple well with air qualities. And you can see as we get up to Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, we can see here that there is some red, so that's concerning. Just some yellows from Alabama, North Carolina, on up into New Jersey. Not just a few oranges here and there. I think less oranges than there were the last couple days. And this is part of a front that is shifting southeast. Places northwest of that front, air quality is slightly better. Yes, you do see a few bad air quality spots. Maybe they're located near a factory or something that causes the air quality always to be bad at that spot. And then we have our normal hot spots today in portions of California. Taking a look at heat-related illness map, which did not update today, but it will update again next week. But hey, we need to take a look at this. There's heat-related illnesses in Florida, North Carolina. The West Coast is starting to see an increase. So yes, it is starting to get serious. And Arizona, I think you'll probably start it pretty soon. Some triple-digit heat is coming your way. Remember, these browns is much higher than average, and we're seeing a lot of that in Florida and portions of North Carolina and South Carolina as well. All right, something else I wanted to show you today. Today being a big day for the National Hurricane Center. Got to keep you safe from climate as well. And one way of doing that is informing you of what the National Hurricane Center is expecting for this season. And I can tell you, if their forecast is even close to being right, it's going to be a really bad year for hurricanes in the United States. They are going with 17 to 25 named storms. 8 to 13 hurricanes 4 to 7 major hurricanes. Now, not all these storms are going to hit the U.S., but even if just some of them do, that is a serious threat to our coastal waters, maybe to the Gulf Coast, to the Atlantic Coast. This is pretty serious. The last time I recall us having anywhere near that many hurricanes, it's been some time. One year that does come to mind is, of course, 2005, when Katrina hit. So yes, we need to take this seriously, and hopefully you will not see me doing climate videos come summer stating, hey, you got a major hurricane coming your way somewhere in the United States. Hopefully we can refrain from that, but right now the Hurricane Center is calling for a very active season. We'll skip over to Storm Prediction Center for today. If you want to learn more about what's going on with climate, you can follow my other Twitter page. It's at Climate Data Report. All right, moving on now. Philadelphia had 847 EMS incidents on Wednesday, so yeah, again, it's over 800. That's not good. And one of the incidents, which there was one that happened today, we actually had a neighbor that had to go to the hospital this morning, unfortunately. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I won't state what my age is, but in over 30 years, I have never seen, since COVID started, I have never seen so many ambulance calls in this neighborhood. It is just unbelievable. All right, taking a look. Not too busy right now in Montgomery County. Few respiratory calls, few subjects in pain. And now taking a look here at what is going on with Chester County, Pennsylvania. Yeah, few more calls than Montgomery. And actually, you know what? There are some serious ones. Stroke, respiratory emergency, emotional disorder, another respiratory emergency, sick person, hypotension, heart problems. Yes, there are calls to be had in Chester County, Pennsylvania right now. All right, let's just take a look at 2 wastewater sites today. And actually, no, we're going to do 3 wastewater sites. One place I want to go. Can we do this? I don't know. We might actually have to go to the CDC page. All right, we can take a look at Belmar, New Jersey. That's good enough. We want to look at areas where people are going to be going for Memorial Day weekend. This is one place that I know of, the Jersey Shore. And I wish we had real time, you know how Wastewater Scan updates more frequently. I wish we could show you the southern Jersey Shore points, which will be jam-packed with people this weekend, but I can show you Belmar. If you're heading to Belmar, New Jersey, say for Memorial Day weekend, you can see here there's an ever so slight increase in the COVID levels at this time. And RSV, Influenza A, Influenza B, HMPV, all not much of an issue right now. Norovirus is rising slightly, and we can see no Mpox issues, and hepatitis A. There are a few detections of that. Let's go to somewhere in the state of Michigan. Upstate Michigan. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, or some people will travel up there. Let's just go somewhere to Mount Pleasant, Michigan. 21,000 population. COVID levels. Your COVID levels are actually not rising that much right now. You're just bouncing around, but not really rising much. More so, if anything, looks like you're starting to drop once again. RSV is low at this time. Influenza A is dropping. Influenza B is flat. HMPV, it's staying high, but it is rather low, we'll call it. I mean, it's not really all that high. 14 pathogens detected. Norovirus had a little bit of a rise, and now it has leveled off. No Mpox detections, and hepatitis A has had some detections. And now let's go down here to Miami and see what's going on there. And I don't know, should we take a look at San Francisco? Maybe we should. Taking a look at Miami, and we can see here, they did have a rise. It has since leveled off a little bit. It's still rising slightly, but not terribly concerning just yet. They are placed in the medium category at this time. RSV, not an issue. Influenza A, there is some detection of it, so that is something to keep an eye on. It's not a significant rise at this point. Influenza B is low at this time. HMPV, slight rise, as is norovirus. No Mpox, and hepatitis A, yes, there are several detections of that. And real quickly, since we talked about San Francisco, let's just go out there real quick. Let's see what's going on in the Bay Area. There was, if you recall, there was a wastewater site. Don't recall which one it was. That was seeing a rise. And look at this. It is still seeing a rise. 750,000 population. And this wastewater site for COVID is high at this time. Let's check out the other one as well. We're just going to check for COVID here. We want to see what's going on. This one saw a big rise. This one's closer to the coast. Saw a big rise. Then it dropped. Remember, there were a whole bunch of wastewater sites that were doing that, so that's relatively interesting. But the bigger population one is still rising. Alrighty, moving on now. All the CDC data should update tomorrow, including new variant data. I'm very interested to see where we stand with the KP.2 variant. New Jersey, 70 out of 70 hospitals reported today, 190 hospitalizations, 7 people on a ventilator. In the ICU, 22 discharges, 27 at this time. New York State did add quite a few more cases, 854. Again, not over 1,000 yet. If we had data from at-home tests, probably would be over 1,000. Wouldn't surprise me if next week or at some point they do have their first day in a long time that goes over 1,000. It's to be expected. There's a slight rise ongoing. Taking a look at what's going on with hospitalizations, not much of a change over yesterday. 504, which is actually down by 1. And the number of people in the ICU is at 47. That's actually up by 2. So not seeing a significant rise yet, just seeing a bump in the road for the time being. We'll have to see what happens post-Memorial Day. And let's just only look at one more state. We'll take a look at what is going on here with Colorado. And Colorado currently hospitalized. Down here it says it dropped. Up here it looks like it rose. So we'll go with what's going on up here because I'm pretty sure this chart is usually... I'm going to refresh this actually. Pretty sure that chart... Yeah. Yep. Good thing we refreshed it. This chart usually updates first for some reason. Currently hospitalized, 85. Last week was 73. That's actually up by 12. The positivity rate in Colorado is up by 0.6%. Cases reported, 646. That is up by 67 compared to last week. Any state we did not look at today, there are others that we usually look at. We'll try and take a look at them tomorrow, and we'll look at all of the CDC data tomorrow. Actually, real quickly, I should show you one thing from the CDC. If your travels take you to any of these states that are either growing or likely growing, be mindful. That means COVID. It's potentially on the rise in that area. And there's a little bit more certainty to it if you're traveling down to Florida. And, of course, likely growing in New Jersey, Georgia, Texas, Arizona, California, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, Alaska, Hawaii, Minnesota, and Washington, D.C. This will update again tomorrow, but I just want to give you a heads up. If you're headed to these areas, take a little extra precaution. Bring some testing with you. And again, if you test positive, right now, if you test positive right now, you're getting ready to leave, but you saw this video first, guess what? You have to quarantine and stay home and, avoid contact with other people until you test negative. That could take a couple days. It could take a couple weeks. And once you finally feel better again, which, again, it is different for every person. Once you finally feel better again, you can go back to your normal business. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Thursday edition of the Pandemic Update. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Do you like when I add climate stuff? I obviously don't have enough time to do 2 channels at once. Go to work, then come back and do 2 channels, and maybe sometimes go back out in the evening. It is just too much of a rat race. So therefore, we just leave some climate stuff in here. Who knows? Maybe in the summertime, if one of those hurricanes do threaten the U.S., I will do individual separate videos on that right here on this channel. Let me know if you want to see something like that down below, down the line. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thumbs up. Share this with anyone you know. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone. Have a fantastic Thursday evening, and thanks for watching.